Hi, welcome to this episode of Industry Voice. And today we have Caleb Cramer on the episode. How are you, Caleb?
Good, Jeff. Good to see you. Glad we could do this, man. How are you doing?
Good. You and I, we know each other in the industry for 6+ years now.
It's yeah, man. Now that I think about it, it's getting up there. Yeah, we're
And
aging ourselves.
we've been on calls before, and we even met in person in the insurtech Ohio event in Columbus. That was a really cool event.
That's right.
And
They do a great job, by the way. A little applause
they
there.
do. They do. And I love that little venue they host at the brewery place. It's such a cool
Hmm.
place. And I ran into you in ITC Vegas, and now you're on the show. And I'd love for you to tell our audience who you are, all the things you have done in the insurtech community world, right? And what are you up to these days?
It kind of dovetails into, I guess, what's become my obsession, which is like trying to bring B2B salesmanship and sales enablement into the insurance sales space, right? And so just career salesperson, sales leader. I've carried the bag a lot and been a quota carrying salesperson for a lot of my career. I've fallen in love with helping sales teams and helping other sellers achieve what they need to achieve. And then I just about 11 years ago got sucked into the insurance space, and I don't think I'm unique in the fact that it just didn't let me go. And I became really connected to a lot of great folks, and the relationships once they start building, like this industry is made up of some of the greatest people in any industry. And so I've decided to stick around, all in the effort of helping agencies become more like business to business sales minded. So like I love whether it's AgencyZoom and making those processes more automated, which is where a lot of people know me from, or Ascend, which is where I wanted to help take away distractions on the finance and payment ops side so they could focus on selling. Or now where we're just trying to, what we're trying to do, Jeff, we're trying to make that enterprise risk management experience more accessible for mid-market. And I know we're crazy, but we even want to help agencies do that in the small commercial space.
Yeah, and I think let's talk about your new company that you are with, Chief Revenue Officer of Launch.
Yep.
I don't know anything about the company, and I told you that before the call started. So I love to learn it because anytime I hear a new business model, a new insurtech of some sort that use technology, I'm always curious, right? So you want to go into it?
Yeah. So it was actually conjured up in an agency, a multi-generational agency, and they had a problem. They had young producers coming in. They had really experienced, well-established producers, not necessarily going out, but there needed to be a transfer of knowledge. And they built Launch first to be a good way of transferring that knowledge and dare I say, cloning their best producers, because there's a lot of different dominoes that can fall when you're trying to do that. And it usually always winds up in a dreaded production drop because you're taking people out of what they do best. And it's typically an inefficient way to train. So you have these reluctant teachers that just want to sell, trying to teach young producers coming up, and there's no good way of documenting that. And so we productized it, or at least I should say, smarter people than myself at launch productized it, and they've allowed me to come in and obsess over it and really take it to market.
I'm looking at the website now. I have like another monitor looking past by my screen. Give us the understanding. Is this like an online portal? People just sign up and upload because it lists 3 steps. Like, how
Yeah.
do you
So
guys plan to engage with your customers here? Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Track AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Track, your AI powered conversation intelligence partner. Track automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Track handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Track. Visit track.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Track today.
The tool allows an agency to learn about their customers more deeply by creating really insightful assessments, right? How do you learn the behaviors about those businesses that will impact their insurance and risk management score, right? So first and foremost, we try to identify the agency, what they do well, right? And try to like turn that into niche identification. So what businesses are you well positioned in your agency to help? And then we help create those niche assessments to really translate insurance speak into highlighting, oh, I've actually got some business operation inefficiencies that's going to impact my insurance, right? It's necessary to connect those dots for the business owner because brokers live and breathe that, but it doesn't always translate in a meaningful way down to the actual business operator and all the different stakeholders in the business. So assessment is one. Then it's able to the system quantifies that into a risk score. So you have something to prescribe off of. And then enables the broker to be a change manager and a project manager because then there's an action plan component of it. So next steps can be established beyond premium. That's beyond quoting. It's just these are the things that you kind of failed in the assessment. Here's your score because of how you did in the assessment. And here are the 4 things that I'm advising you to do as next steps because of that assessment, right? It's able to establish a wedge, so to speak, because the interesting thing about insurance is we're always trying to get an incumbent fired, right? That's what's a bit unique about this space.
So the assessment that your software do is assessment on, I'm a little slow. So is it assessment on your producer or on the customer or both?
It's for the producer to either conduct in person with the insured, the prospect or the client, or to send to them so they can do that ahead of time. So you can have something to actually some context to engage with for the meeting. So it's meant to be launch creates that with the producer, the assessment with the producer for it to be completed by the insured.
I like this quote right here. It says risk scoring. If you don't give your client something to gauge your performance, they will naturally use premium as your scorecard.
Yeah, in a vacuum, the insured, right or wrongly, has been kind of trained to judge a broker's effectiveness by is the premium going up or going down? And so we wanted to provide agencies a toolkit that can quantify their value beyond the premium.
Is there other legacy product like this in the marketplace?
I mean, everyone's getting the job done to some extent, right? So that's the assumption that any rational company needs to at least understand. Like we're coming in and we have a better mousetrap, but agencies are getting it done if they're presenting these risk management experiences, but it's usually pretty fragmented. I mean, I've seen it all. They're still asking questions if they are asking questions from notepads or they're making assumptions. But honestly, I'm just happy if these practices are happening. I'm seeing that it's so cumbersome that it's just not easy to do. So salespeople, I know we take the path of least resistance, Jeff, and like we usually just go to what's easiest, and what's easiest is too quickly going to quoting and getting ahead of ourselves. So we want to make something, give them an easy button to actually do the hard thing, the necessary thing, which is dig in, get real actionable insights on the client before you move to actually the the fun stage, which is the quoting and the proposal stage. So I wouldn't say there's
Sure, you
anything
guys are
in the
internally
industry.
testing this. If you guys are internally testing this in your agency, what is like the A/B results that you guys see the lift from using software to assess the producer versus, just go off the price?
The stats are on the site are actually from the internal A/B test, which is I think it was less than 10% hit rate when they were doing competitive quoting, and then they're up over 35% when they have true alignment. It's a niche they can perform well at. They should be going after the business. They're up over a 30% hit rate. It's
Nice.
really how businesses buy everything else, right? They're conditioned to do discovery. It's just insurance, like some steps are skipped sometimes, and I get why, because the tools haven't always been there. That's kind of why I'm obsessed by this, is because outside of insurance, there's a ton of tools to help with discovery, assessment, action planning, all this stuff that actually are the key components of a business to business sale, which is what we're conducting. Why shouldn't we create the nuances that are necessary for it to apply to insurance and then get it out there in the wild so brokers can use it? So
That's pretty cool. So maybe I'll have to play with this down the line, like, to see how I understand it a little bit better. Who came up with this idea?
the Ellerbrock Norris team. So they're an agency in Omaha, Nebraska, and so I think they started tinkering around with it in 2020. It's in the hands of about 15 agencies now. So they've gone out of the nest a bit, and so we got connected, and I got more and more aligned with the problem, and now I'm all in on helping them get this into agencies, so mid-market business can be closed, and that's our proving ground, right, Jeff? Because I do believe that like this has a place down market in small business, right? Because it can't be that hard to sell, right? We can't add too many friction points because of the unit economics, but the unit economics don't stop after the sale. Like the wrong business getting sold, even the right business getting sold the wrong way in small business, it's causing some downstream effect for those agencies to deal with. So we want to do a better job of like aligning at the beginning so you can create really rock solid relationship selling, whether it's small business, mid-market, or large enterprise deals.
Interesting. What's in the future for rollouts? Anything adding to it?
Yeah. Well, the one thing that was assessments have been rock solid for a while. We've had a lot of good feedback. The risk score has helped a lot of agencies like actually take control of their total life cycle and quantify their value with the client, which has been great. We just rolled out the action plans, which is what I've always thought is crucial for like next step management. The best salespeople are actually short-term pessimists and long-term optimists. You're optimistic about the relationship and doing great things with that client, so it makes the hairy work worth it, right? But you're short-term pessimist, so you assume something's going to go wrong. I assume Jeff has a roadblock that I have to overcome. And so the best way to actually go about that mutually is through mutual action planning and project managing with that client. And it's a pretty awesome experience when done right as a buying experience. So we just came out with, I think, a really good bow on this product, which is action plans, mutual action plans. So we just launched that a couple of weeks ago, and we've had some good feedback.
Would you guys have a feedback dashboard for the agency owners, so this way that they can see what their producers closing at versus other agency who are using the same product, your product?
That's something that we're trying to be really thoughtful about, because we don't want to take over as the information hub, right? We want to be we think there are a lot of good products in this industry that are really well equipped to be the hub or the dashboard of tracking the whole sales cycle, right? We want to be, all right, I've identified a good client. I've got a meeting in 10 minutes. I need to go prepared with something to actually engage with, like get in and get out, right? And then
Mhm.
agencies are equipped to manage the total life cycle of that client and find the total close rate in other systems, right? So we don't want to create a bunch of tracking redundancies or try to take eyeballs away from other systems where they should be tracking. We don't need to be a Swiss Army knife. We just want to be a really your favorite scalpel that you're going to use for a specific moment, right? So we haven't added a bunch of tracking other than like you can go in there. Has Jeff filled out and submitted my assessment? Like what is crucial to using launch? What do they need to see in launch? And it's not to say that we won't add more tracking and more data, but we want to be really deliberate as where we fit in the ecosystem so we don't cause subtraction by addition because it's kind of a disease. And I get it once you start building features and it kind of takes on a life of its own. We're really committed to, as we add stuff, we want to take away stuff as well. We want to remain light and nimble and be great at something and integrate with other tools. I almost fanatical about that mantra. I think be great and integrate. That's the way to go.
What do you guys currently integrate with?
We are open to talk. We have the capability of integrating with anybody, but we're open to talks. We see some potential synergy with any of the CRMs because to your point, I think that's the natural place for that information to flow. But
Yeah,
I'd rather keep folks' eyeballs in their CRM where they can see the total picture rather than take their eyeballs into launch. I just want to have a super sharp utility and let them win deals.
that makes sense. So you're just meeting with independent agency every single day these days, showing them the product and do the demos.
Yeah, doing a lot of demos, a lot of on-sites, a lot of just meeting with sales teams, seeing how they're doing it today. Because like
Mhm.
no two teams are the same, no two agencies are the same. That's kind of what's exciting and potentially frustrating about this industry to everybody. There's no one way to do this thing, running an agency. And so I think I have to really take my own medicine, which is just I have to be really curious. I have to be more curious than confident at this stage. So I have to go into these agencies and just learn first if there's a place for launch. And it's pretty fun because a lot of times there is. It fits pretty well.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast today and teach me about launch. And
Yeah, it's been
anything
fun.
else happening in Caleb world?
Oh man, just is it too early to have our Christmas tree up?
No. What's funny is my wife and I we were talking about that today on the walk. We went out for a walk. It was a beautiful day in Northern Virginia, 80 degrees.
Hmm.
And we're like, when should we put up our Christmas tree?
Yeah, I was out visiting an agency in Alabama and came back and my wife and kids decided to pull the trigger on that. And yeah, I'm kind of happy it happened. Like this is the earliest we've ever done it. But part of me is embarrassed, but part of me is excited about it, you know? Like I feel like it's better to do it early than to keep it too late, right? So,
Well, it's not just for us, right? It's the kids. Kids get so excited when they stare at a Christmas tree because they know what's
that's
coming.
right. That's right. Yeah. What about you? What's going on with you?
Just launching the creator media, right? So insurtech media, legacy media, those are the ones that get all the attention, but I think there's a place for creator media. So I am going all in and try to prove a theory. So it's fun. And also I do a lot of consulting work on the side as well. So keeping me busy.
I can relate to going all in and proving a theory. It's kind of fun working without a safety net, huh? Yeah.
No parachute.
That's right. Parachutes aren't fun.
When's
Yeah.
what's the next couple of events you're going to? Going to any other events, insurance events?
Um, just agency visits. I don't have any events on the schedule for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Kind of intentionally, got the holidays coming up, but just lucky to have a lot of demos here in the short term. And then I don't know about you, but I kind of actually like to get out and get on the road because you can get some Zoom fatigue. So it's fun when agencies are willing to kind of let you in their buildings to go and visit. So that's been fun. I've got a couple of those.
Zoom fatigue. I can definitely relate.
Sorry to add to it for you today, but
Yeah, no, that's what's fun.
yeah.
You pay me, and I think like we're like, let's jump on Zoom, let's do some recording, let's talk about
Yeah.
it. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast and educating me on what Launch is doing, and looking to have you on maybe another 6 month, 9 month from now, and then hear about other things you guys are doing over there and the growth that you guys can have.
Yeah. How it started versus how it's going. Happy to do that. Yeah.
Those are always fun comparisons.
Yeah, man. Well, appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Caleb.